Hello, Aggie family. I'm excited about sharing my personal story in an interview format for the Center for Excellence in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Just jumping right into it, a little bit about my childhood and background. I am from Enfield, North Carolina originally, grew up in a single parent home. I heard about North Carolina A&T State University through, family members, and thank God that I attended school there. And the second question is, did I come from a family of entrepreneurs or business owners? And the answer is absolutely not. I grew up in a single wide trailer next to my granddaddy's hog pen. I'm a good old country boy from Enfield, and I grew up in a family with a lot of love and no money. We weren't, I didn't come from a family of business owners or entrepreneurs. I actually grew up in a family of just hard-working, basically farmers and factory workers out in the country, and it was my beginning. Next question is, what sparked my desire to create my own business? It was just I guess, a God-given desire, because as far back as I can remember, I dreamed about having my own business and working for myself. I just didn't have any direction or plan. Even when I got my biology degree from A&T, biology typically isn't a major that you would use to launch into business. Usually you would go on to medical school or pharmacy school or something in sciences. But I wanted to have a business even back then. And so God gave me that desire, and one thing led to another, and I ended up in the business that I'm in today. Definitely wasn't because I had an example to growing up that I was following, or had a model that I was trying to aspire to be like. What were my greatest fears I had to overcome? Well, and I started young in business at 22 when I finished A&T, and probably my number one fear was approaching, marketing to, presenting to older people that I thought were more successful than I was. So I had a bit of a inferiority complex, confidence issues to do presentations and talk to people who I thought were obviously more along. I was 22 years old, just trying to, get my feet on the ground, so to speak. And I was talking to families and business owners that were much older than me, and I was basically intimidated. And so that kind of held me back. So I had to just push through that fear and develop confidence in what I was doing, and the belief in what I was doing kind of propelled me to go ahead and face those fears and keep moving forward. Probably second biggest fear is a fear of failure. You can have, a certain degree of self-doubt. Everyone has it, but it can reach a point where it's negative, because it'll keep you from taking risk and thinking that, or hope, or not moving forward and aggressively as you need to be successful. So you can't be thinking about just like going from a part-time person that owns a business to a full-time business owner, where you start off basically self-employed, where 100% of your income is based upon your efforts, your ability to go out and get new clients to grow your business. That can be challenging, but you can't be afraid to face that fear. The next question is about my self-discipline, the importance of self-discipline and resilience. Man, I can't stress that enough. In any business that starts off and it's just you got to get employees, you got to get staff, you got to get teammates to work with, you got to go out and find some clients. In the beginning, typically, the job of the business owner is to bring in some business. So you're going to have to go out and find and introduce yourself and find people that want to take advantage of whatever your product and service is. And to do that, just the nature of that, any business, it starts with a healthy amount of rejection. And whoever gets the most no's gets the most yeses. It's going to start off with a certain amount of uncertainty as relates to who's going to want to move forward with you. It's going to start off with a healthy dose of disappointment, because people that staff, employees are going to, not stick with you. People are going to kind of come and go. You're going to have a little bit of quite a bit opportunity to start over. And in a lot of cases, time, energy, and money you've invested, you're not going to get a return from. So you have to have a healthy amount of self-discipline and resilience to bounce back from challenges. Next is, how important is failure or falling short in development of leadership? Well, typically, failure is going to be your greatest teacher. That's a hard pill to swallow. It takes a whole lot of ownership as it relates to taking responsibility for where you are and the growth or lack of growth or success or lack of success that you're having. If you're not taking responsibility for your business 100%, then it's going to be very tough to learn from your mistakes, because instead of learning, looking in the mirror, saying what you can do differently, well, now I'm blaming somebody else. So you got to take responsibility for the failure, lack of success, to learn from it. And that's very important. So how important is failure? Well, if you're paying attention, if you're taking responsibility, it is actually the path to success. The fastest way to success is through failure. What advice would you give those interested in owning their own business? The number one advice I would give a person is to find a mentor. Me personally, find a mentor. I was thinking whether I should say my first advice is find a mentor or find something that you're passionate about. Well, I don't know if it's finding something that you're passionate about first, because if you're a person like me, when I was, finishing college, I'm 22 years old, trying to figure out what I'm going to do in my life. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew what I didn't want to do more so. And so if you I was indecisive. So if you're indecisive like that, well, if you're waiting to find something that you're passionate about, it's going to take, might end up drifting for a while, and that's not good. I look for someone that's successful and interview them, find out what they're doing, and see if you're gonna like it. Give it a try. What's the process? What's the business involved? A lot of cases, you can discover what you're really called to do while you're doing something else. You can be on the way to one place, and then you recognize, well, that's not the right place, or that's not the right path I want, and you can discover something on the other side of that. So step one is find a mentor. Find someone that's successful. Don't just settle for a job that is going to just give you enough money to pay your bills. Seek a big goal, big dream, big success, and do whatever you can to get around those type of people. Next is which that answer leads right to the next question, is how important is mentorship, which I just explained. And the second is your circle of peers. I can't stress that enough. To surround yourself with like-minded, motivated individuals. You want to be around people that encourage you. I call them inspirational relationships. I seek inspirational relationships. I want to inspire people, and I want to be around people that inspire me. You don't want to be around people that you got to pump up, or they're sad, or just if you love something and they just like it. They don't have the same level of enthusiasm for success as you have. They are settled. You don't want to be around a lot of that. You want to be, I want to be around people that are stretching and growing and pushing and just never coasting. We're always pushing to move forward versus coasting. The only way you can coast is downhill. For example, if you're around the right type of people, everything is not going to be easy. If you're around the right type of people, and let's say you have a challenging situation and you express to them, man, this is tough. See, the right person is going to say, did you expect it to be easy? Let's go. Well, the wrong person, if you say something like, well, this is harder than I thought it was going to be, they may say something like, well, this might not be for you. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? One person going to say, did you expect it to be easy? and it's which is going to challenge you to rise to the occasion, the other person going to say, well, this might not be for you, which is going to plant a seed of doubt. So you got to be around people that's going to encourage you and challenge you versus create more doubt. And what has business ownership taught me about myself? I think the number one thing it has taught me, now this is over, a 25-year career, it has taught me that anything is possible. Just the mere fact that someone else is doing it, living it, being it, means it's possible for you. And if you do the right things long enough, you can be successful in almost anything. So that is what it's taught me about myself. It's given me, I'm dreaming bigger, thinking bigger, aspiring to accomplish more. And I believe that is possible. Last point, words of wisdom to those listening to my story. I guess one of my favorite phrases, I think I got it from Albert Einstein, I believe. And it goes, a formal education will pay you a living, but a self-education will pay you a fortune. So watching and listening to videos like this, reading books on personal development, self-development, attitude, leadership, coaching, biographies of successful people, I can't stress that enough, how important it is for you to saturate your thinking with positive, inspirational, encouraging information that's going to help you grow in your path to being successful. Hope that helps all our Aggies out there and all our Aggie family. Love you guys. See you at the top.